Everyone, just a short update on a couple of projects I'm working on tonight. What you see in front of you here are the wheels and hubs and axles from a couple of trailers that I'm working on. These happen to be from these Illinois Central 48-foot trailers here. And what I'm doing is I'm painting the hubs on these wheels. And you know, if you try to do this by hand, it's pretty tedious. So I've shown this in one of my other videos, but maybe some of my newer subscribers haven't seen it. What these white rings are around the outside, those are notebook paper reinforcing rings. I think all of us probably remember back in the day when we had notebooks for school with 3-ring binders, and the papers were forever tearing out of those things, and we would have to get these reinforcing rings to put on our papers and hold them back in. Well, that's what these are. I was thinking one night, you know, what kind of a mask could I create that would you know, be big enough for the hubs but yet cover the tire? And I thought about these reinforcement rings. I didn't know if they were the right size or not, but they happen to be almost exactly the right size. So obviously you just take them and put them around, and see how close I can get here. Put them around and just let the hub show, and it's just about the right diameter for the hub. So sure beats doing it by hand. One other thing that I'm working on tonight is I'm putting the cut stone treatment on my bridge abutments. If you remember, right now the bridge abutments are just 2x4s or 2x6s depending upon the bridge. They're just raw wood sitting in there. And I've done the two at the long bridge down here. This treatment is really just like wallpaper. It doesn't have any paste on it, but on the front side is the cut stone look, and on the back side, you know, it kind of looks like wallpaper. So there is no adhesive, there is no glue on there, so you just have to use Elmer's glue to attach them. So what I've done is, I don't know if you can see it, there's the edge of it sticking out, but I've got Elmer's glue on there, and I've got the side clamped against the side of the bridge abutment with this black 2x4. It's holding it this way. And then the front of it is holding it against the front of the bridge abutment with this 2x6 here. And I've got those clamped at the bottom. And so I'm going to let that sit probably overnight for those two sides. Same with this other side here. Got the clamps in place. You know, that'll probably take a while to dry because it's a fairly large surface. One other thing. I think if you've seen my last few updates, a couple of them were running trains. Here are all of the spine cars with the trailers loaded. That one drift trailer back there is one of those Maisto trailers. I ran short, and then I remembered that I had these two Burlington Northern and these two Illinois Central trailers that I had bought at a train show last February, and I hadn't put them together yet. So once I get those together, I'll be able to replace this monster drift here and the other blue one down there in the middle. But so this is all 42 of the spine cars with trailers. So you can see it makes a pretty neat looking sight when they're all on there. So there's a shot of the yard. As far as what I can pull with one locomotive, here's my Western Pacific. I've got the well cars right now sitting up here, and there are 15 of these, I believe. Or is it 16? I can't remember. It's 15 or 16. And this is a 4% grade running up the hill. And that one Atlas GP40 will pull all of those loaded cars up the hill without a problem. As far as the spine cars, it'll do, I've had it pulling 26. It's a bit of a struggle. So, you know, 13, which is a couple of sets. Now, let me recalculate here. 26 is half of 42, so we got that right. So it'll pull actually 3 of these. 26 is, it's been a long day, fellas. 21 is half of 42. All right, so I was wondering why the calculation wasn't coming out right. 21 fully loaded spine cars, it will pull, but it's a struggle. So it'll pull 14 really well, fully loaded. So I'm thinking by the time I get my other engines back, and you know, keeping my fingers crossed that the decoders are going to work, I should be able to pull you know, all of these with 3 locomotives. So when I have these things all hooked together, it stretches about 2/3 of the way around my layout. So you know, it's probably not something I'm going to do often, but you know, it looks kind of neat anyway. I'll definitely do at least one run by when I get the other locomotives back and working, the decoders back and working, and you know, show you what that looks like. So let's see. One other thing that I bought. You know, I said this was a short update. Well, you know, there you go. I was at Tuesday morning. My wife had to go down and get some shelves for the pantry, some rollout shelves, and Tuesday morning had them. So I was just browsing around, you know, waiting for her to get her stuff. And what I found was, it's originally by the Sharper Image. It's a cell phone tripod with a 10 power zoom lens. So, you know, you're probably asking, well, why aren't you using it? That's a good question. So, what this has in it is a tripod on the right, which once you extend the legs, it's probably about 8 inches high, and it has a 10 power lens on the left. It says zoom. That's not really true. It's just a 10 power telephoto, because there is no zoom feature on this. Let me get that sitting back up there so I don't drop it. If you take videos with your cell phone, at least mine, which is an i4S, when I'm in video mode, I can't zoom with my camera. When I'm taking a pic, you know, just a still photograph, I can zoom in. So you can kind of see how that sets up there. The zoom lens screws into a holder that you put your cell phone in, and it positions it right in front of the lens. So with video, you can do a 10 power telephoto. With still pictures, you can do a 10 power zoom, because you can use the zoom feature on your camera, on your phone, to actually change the, you know, the distance. So anyway, I haven't tried this out yet. I've had it out of the package and I've hooked my phone up to it, and it actually works pretty well. So maybe I'll do an update in a day or two and show you how that works. So if you don't have kind of one of those stores where overstocks and stuff that didn't sell show up, Tuesday morning is close by me. That's where I found it. You could check places like, I don't know, Dollar General, Bargain Hunt, you know, Ollie's if you have one of those close by. But it was originally Sharper Image. So this may be available on their website. And you can see the price there was $6.99, which I thought was a pretty good deal. Originally $20. So anyway, that's about it for tonight. Just wanted to show you my technique here for painting the hubs. I'm going to go ahead and pull one of these off here really quickly. So you can see what a nice job that does of masking the hubs. You know, it doesn't let any overspray get in there. I'll back up a little bit so you can see it. You know, it's really slick, and it takes, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes to put the mask on those 8 hubs, you know, and then spray paint, you know, really quickly. So that's about it. Appreciate all the new subscribers, all the comments. Thank everybody for watching. So here's a close-up of the hubs painted. I'll see if I can zoom in here. But it does a really good job of masking the tire. And so I've got this one trailer assembled here. You know, so works for me. Alright, that's it. Alright, so one last update. This is a small tank that I made, and it was actually a little container that had some puzzle pieces in it. So you can see it's just, you know, got a lid on here. I decided to leave the lid on there because it kind of looks like a little foundation. But what I did on the top is I used drywall compound to create my own sort of rounded top on this. The top was indented. It wasn't this deep. It was maybe, that's about 1/4 of an inch. It was probably a 1/16 of an inch indented on the top. So I just took some drywall compound and spread it in there, and I held my putty knife on an angle, and I created a taper on the roof there to make it look like it was a real roof, a real tank. And then I just sprayed it right now with automotive primer, Rust-Oleum gray automotive primer, and it takes care of all the imperfections. So this is a little bit rough here, but I thought it was good enough. If you get close, you can see there's some small little imperfections there. Instead of trying to sand that, what I did is I waited till the drywall compound was almost dry, and I put my finger in some water, just wet the tip of my finger, and then went around the top and wet that drywall compound again and smoothed it. So you don't get all the dust, and you don't end up putting gouges in there. I probably should have worked a little bit more on it, but I think because the drywall or the automotive primer is on that now, the imperfections show up a little bit more. But my plan for this was to set it over here behind the engine facility, just as a piece of scenery. Maybe run a pipe into the building or something. But that was basically free, other than the cost of the spray paint and the drywall compound. And I don't know how many scale feet that is, maybe 30 feet tall or so. But I think it looks pretty good. From back here, you would never know that there's little scratches on the top. At least with my eyesight, I don't know that there's little scratches on the top. So there you go. That's it. Talk to you later.